Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to get started on part 3 of the Pennywise vignette, and today we're going to concentrate on just painting. I've taken the time to paint the bricks all black. I've taken time to paint the riverbed sort of a base coat in brown. This is the original color of the water putty that's dried, but all of this will be painted and then prepare to do the resin pour after it's all detailed and painted. So moving right along. So with that, let's jump right in and let's take a look at how we're going to do the painting. Okay, so as we start, I want to show you the paints I've got. I found this new paint at Joann's. It's called Top Notch. I've never used it before, but it's acrylic paint. It was on sale. It was, I think it was, I don't know, 79 cents or something like that. But this one's called True Red. So I'm going to try a little bit of that color. I've got another one of those top-notch paints. This one is called Burnt Orange. This is a different brand. This is an Apple Barrel. Again, one of the craft stores. Could have been Joann, somewhere else. But this one's called Nutmeg Brown. And then this one, same brand, is called Barn Red. And so what I'm going to do is mix a few of these with just a normal paintbrush to get a color that appears to be somewhat brick-like, and then paint that on here. So with that, I'm going to start with some nutmeg brown and see what that's going to look like. I'll take a little bit of barn red, put that over here. The barn red actually looks pretty good, almost on its own, so we may see what that looks like. I'll take a little burnt orange, just a little bit of that, and then just a little bit of other red. Okay, so this is kind of what I've got here. Now I'm just going to mix this as I see fit, just to see what it does. It may work out great. It may work out not at all, but I kind of like that color. That's not a bad color. It may need a little more lightening up, perhaps. Maybe a little more of the orange. Just a couple more drops of that. Let's mix that up a little bit more. See what that looks like. That's starting to look pretty good for a sort of a brick look. Okay, maybe a little more of the orange again, a little more of the red, and I think this will do it here. Okay, now the issue is you never get the same mixture twice, so I've got quite a bit on the brush, enough to hopefully get most of this, but let's start here. That's a lot, and see how that's going to look. Okay, so just that's sort of brown, but it's not looking too bad. I think I need to lighten that up a little bit. That's a little too much brown for me, so I'm going to color that some more red. So I'm going to go red, quite a bit of red. I'm going to take some barn red as well. Okay. I think that's looking a little bit better. See if there's a difference here. Okay, as you can see, that doesn't look too bad for an initial coat. And so what I'll do is I'm going to let this dry, and then I may dry brush a little more of a red tint to that, real dry brush. And then I'm going to take each one of those colors that we saw earlier, and I'm going to individually then paint individual bricks to give it more of a detailed look. And then I found some grout that I'm gonna mix into the, probably redo the lines with a pen and then mix some grout in there, and you'll get to see all that on the final look. So for now, let's let this dry and we'll go on to paint the top of this gray. Okay, so you guys have seen this technique before. This is gonna be the top of that brick wall. And I'm gonna start out with the dark gray, move then to the rainy day gray, and then top it off with a little highlights with just pure white. So with that, let's start with the dark gray. Okay, we'll let that dry. I'll go clean the brush and then we'll go with the rainy day gray. Okay, I think this is dry enough now. I'm going to use the rainy day gray, and this is going to be more of a dry brush than the other coat was. Just a little bit of paint. Let's try that. Okay, I'm satisfied with that look, so we'll let that dry, and then we'll come back and dry brush on the white. Okay, this is dry enough now. I'm going to use the white, and this is going to be a fairly substantial bit of dry brushing. I don't need a lot of paint here at all. Okay, that's sort of the stone look that I'm going for. I'll just continue to go over this a little bit more, but that's essentially what I'm looking for there. You see the detail there. It pops pretty good with the white edges and kind of gets into the nooks and crannies and crevices to kind of give it that final detail there of stonework versus pink styrofoam. So, okay, so I'm gonna call this one done, and let's get back to painting those individual bricks. Okay, this is dry enough now. This all these lines are gonna be opened back up with a pen, so the grout can get down in there a little bit better. The overall color I'm pretty pleased with. But now what I want to do is take a much smaller paintbrush and all of these different colors. So I'm going to start with the brown. This is the nutmeg brown. Got a little bit on the plate here, and then I want a pretty fair amount on this brush, and then we're going to go through and just get individual bricks just randomly. Okay, that's a subtle enough difference. I'm going to move on to a different color. I'm going to move on to the barn red. Okay, again, enough randomness. I'll move on to the next color. Let's go with more of a red. Okay, I think that's good on that color there. Okay, we'll go with the burnt orange. Okay guys, you can see how that's starting to resemble more and more brickwork. So I'm going to finish this up, just a few more little details, but I'm about to call this one done. I'm going to let this dry, go through and do the kind of widen these lines a little bit and get it ready for some grout. Once it's dry, you'll see this will kind of sit on top like this and give it sort of a finished look when it's done, but it's starting to transform certainly into a brick wall. So let me finish this up and we'll be back to show you how to grout it. Okay, while we're waiting on everything else to dry, I did take the paper towel holder, the roll or the dirter, whatever you want to call it, and I've got it painted black where it's going to kind of come through here. But now I need to detail this with paint as well. And so what I'm going to try to do is paint a very dry brush, a rust color on here, maybe some silver around. I'll detail it up. Maybe white will work for that, but the black is on and it's dry, and I've only painted enough just to stick through. I did find this paint, I've had it for a while. It is a metallic, it's called Tin Roof Rust color. I'm going to try it. I did try it on my cemetery fence, and I didn't really like the look of it. It may look better on cardboard. So I am going to try that. Before I do that, I'm going to dry brush some brown on there first. And so And when I talk dry brush, same older brush here, when I mean dry brush on this one, I mean it really needs to be dry. And so we'll start, that's not dry enough. Okay, so there's the kind of dry I'm looking for. Okay, I think that'll work for now, at least to give it some different color. And now let me start to detail that a little bit. I'm gonna try the rust color and see what that looks like. I think I like it. It looks pretty good. I don't know if you can see, it's sort of got a little metal flake look to it. It looks pretty good. Okay, I've cut it down, and I also have some gold paint. And so I've taken some gold paint and sort of gone around the edge, just adding a little bit of differences as you kind of look at it. Kind of bringing some streaks back. Anyway, that's sort of what it's looking like, the sewer pipe. I think it's looking pretty good. And so we will go from there. That's what that's going to look like. And obviously that's going to be, sticking out of there at some point, and looking like that, if you can kind of see that. It'll look better once it's in there. I'm not going to do that until I grout it. So that's the next step. So let's get the grout and try this out. Okay guys, I had to come back because off camera I tried some orange on this and I like the result much better all blended together. It certainly looks more like rust is the look that I'm going for. So this is just an orange that is brushed on in a very dry fashion, but mixed with the silver or the gold and the rust and the black, it gives it almost a perfect tint of rust, especially around the front. When it's brushed like that, it looks really, really good. So the orange is the final piece on this one, but I wanted you to see that because I like that look a lot better. It's more of a look that I was going for, so perfect. Okay guys, I was able to go back through with a pencil and open some of this stuff up from mostly the black paint that had kind of gotten into those grooves. Took a long time to do that, but I think it looks decent enough now, and it's dry enough to put the grout on. And so I've got some grout. It's essentially, no kidding, I mean, it's real grout. We had it left over from a remodel job in our home. It's sort of a gray that I think will look good in here. So I'm just gonna sprinkle it on here and see how it goes, and then kind of spray it down and wipe it off, I think. So never done this before, so I hope I don't mess it up. Okay, so now I've got water, just a water and a spray bottle, and I'm going to spray this on to hopefully cure it and then just blot it off. We'll see how this works. Okay. Kind of like the look of it. I don't know that I got enough grout in it. I may actually put some more on there, but I like the look of it so far. It looks pretty good. Maybe a little too much water, but let's let that dry and see what happens. We'll come back to this. Okay guys, before we get to painting the base, I wanted to show you the finished product here. Okay, so I did not like all the orange after this was in there, so I toned that down with some silver paint. So the metallic paints really come in handy. And so I just dry brushed it over the orange over everything else. And I think it certainly looks now more rusty and realistic looking. So I like the look of the sewer pipe better. I love the look of the grout in the brickwork. And so I'm gonna set this aside and let it cure. And then I'll glue the top portion on. Let me show you that real quick, just how it's gonna look when it's sitting on top of that. So you can sort of see the bigger picture there of how this will look when it's sitting on top of that. So starting to come together from essentially, this to this is pretty good. So I'm pleased with the way it turned out. Now let's start working on detailing this base. Okay guys, we're gonna detail the base now. And what I really wanna go for here is a shade of browns on the rocky terrain here. So we'll start dark, and I'll start with a nutmeg brown, and we'll progressively get lighter. And this will be sort of a dry brush technique as well. Grab a different brush. Most of these brushes are still a little bit damp, but I think they'll work. And so this is just going to be dry brushed over the top of this. Doesn't have to be real dry, I can see that now. Just the highlights. Okay guys, we'll let that dry and then we'll come back and put another coat on. This is called Toffee. It's a little bit dark, or a little bit lighter. It's not the lightest color I'm gonna use, but will be light enough. Okay, let's let that dry and we'll come back and do another coat. Okay guys, I think I'm gonna put the color on now called khaki. That'll be the next step in the brown. Okay guys, I think I'm going to stop there on the terrain up here. And I think that's, and I'll finish this after I put the resin on. I'm probably going to carve some more out of the sides and repaint that. But I think I'm going to concentrate now on, and start in the center of the reservoir here, the creek, sewer drain, whatever you want to call that coming out. And then start blending it up to the sides. This is going to be more of a greenish blue. I think I'm okay with this for now, and then let's see how that looks. So let me change some colors and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, on this, I'm a little confused as how I really want it to look. I don't want it to be, you know, blue ocean water, but I don't want it to be brown, completely brown either. So I want to take some blue, and I've got several choices to choose from here. I want to take some green. I've got several choices to choose from here. And I want to sort of mix those colors up and then layer it up to a darker to this lighter tan color, and then blend it in along the little shoreline there. So I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start with a color called blue water. And I may thin this with a little bit of water on its own. We'll see how it looks. But I think I'm just gonna kind of come in through here and just really a line down the center. Okay, I probably got too much paint there. Then I think I'll take the Mediterranean blue. See if that looks any different. Kind of come along beside that. Some of the rocks are coming off. Okay. A little bit of water. I don't want to use too much water because of this compound that I used. I don't want to mess that up. Okay, so I'm going to switch now to a, this is called a Calypso blue. And it's okay to kind of smear these around. I mean, that's kind of the look anyway. Okay, I'm going to start using more of a green. I'm going to do this deep sea blue. And then I'm going to finish off with this this green color here. Okay, and then where the actual sewer comes out, I'm going to add some green in there to kind of disperse that a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to grab the tan and start mixing some of that back. All right, guys, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I think that will represent well with the acrylic with the resin poured over it. So let's let that dry. After this dries, I'm going to hot glue some rocks and some sticks and everything into the water, and then we'll be ready to mask it up and do the resin. I'll probably do that in the next tutorial. So I think that's it for the paint. Let's let this dry and take a look at how it looks. Okay, guys, I think that's going to wrap up this tutorial. On the way out of the video, I'll give you a very close look at the finished product for today. It's ready for some more detail, and then next time we'll finish that detail, and then we'll set it up to get ready to pour the resin. I don't think we'll pour the resin next time because it's got some steps that I've got to glue some things in place and let that cure. So probably a couple more videos before we actually pour the resin, but it's getting closer. It looks really, really well. I'm pleased with how everything's turned out so far. So if you like what you've seen, please hit the like button. I certainly do appreciate all of those. And then if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Again, it helps to motivate me and inspire me to keep doing this stuff. I enjoy it. Hope you guys are learning. I hope you're having a good time watching the channel. Please continue to leave comments. I try to answer them all. Look forward to talking with you guys again soon. We'll see you next time. Take a look.